Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Dee, aka The Messy Perfectionist, and on my channel I like to share real talk, inspirational personal growth life tips, and more. Lately I've been sharing a lot about my personal health journey, particularly VSG, and I've also started doing some content maybe for recipes and things like that, and dipping my toes in the water of that. Not sure if it's something I'll continue. That's really determined by you guys, and if you like the content and want to know more, I'll go ahead and continue to do some more on batch cooking and things like that. But today I'm going to be sharing with you my struggle I've been having with my thyroid kind of since January. I've mentioned this before in a few other videos that my thyroid medication has dropped down to now nothing, and was hoping that my thyroid just kind of got into balance since having VSG, and that maybe I just didn't need my medication anymore. Well, there's a little bit more to the story than that. So if you guys want to know a little bit more about what's been going on with me in regards to my little thyroid crisis, please stay tuned. So as I've mentioned before, I have Hashimoto's disease. I've probably had it most of my life. I wasn't diagnosed until my 20s sometime. I have been on some form of thyroid medication since my 20s and have always been hypothyroid. Well, after having VSG, some things started to change and my dose started to drop. And so this kind of started in January. We were dropping my dose, testing my blood, dropping my dose, testing my blood, until the point where I've had to completely come off of my thyroid medication. And so what my doctor wanted me to do was be off of my medication for about 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, and then have labs done again, and we would review. I also had a thyroid ultrasound just to make sure that everything was okay. I have gotten the results of that ultrasound, and I have also gotten those labs done and had my consult with my doctor. And the reason I haven't really updated you guys on this sooner was because honestly, I've been kind of emotional about this. And the reason being that I work so hard to get my health where I want it to be in many aspects of my life. And it's very frustrating for me to not see kind of the fruits of my labor in regards to that. And I'll explain. So my thyroid dose dropped off of thyroid meds. Was super hoping that maybe my body healed from the hashies, or at least temporarily didn't need to be on medication anymore because of the VSG surgery and things being different, your body absorbing things differently, etc. Well, my thyroid labs, it's like, and even my doctor said this, it's like looking at somebody else's labs. So much so that I was like, I was having like a Theranos moment. And if you're not sure what Theranos is, highly recommend watching something like The Dropout on Hulu to learn all about Elizabeth Holmes and Theranos, which, I was part of those Arizona people where I had labs done at Theranos. So it's kind of a crazy, interesting story. But anyway, looking at these labs, I am showing hyperthyroid. I do not have hyperthyroid symptoms. When you're hyperthyroid, you have like lots of energy, you're dropping weight like crazy, all those kind of things. I still deal with chronic fatigue really bad in the afternoon. I haven't lost any weight in like 3 or 4 weeks. I'm at a total weight loss stall. Very frustrating. I'm still having hypothyroid type symptoms, yet I show hyperthyroid labs. On top of that, she also ran the antibodies for Hashi's and also Graves' disease, which is kind of like Hashimoto's, but whereas Hashimoto's tends to be hypothyroid, Graves' disease tends to be, it is hyperthyroid. I have antibodies for both of those. So now I'm showing positive for not one autoimmune disease of my thyroid, but now 2. My thyroid antibodies are very high. They were 1,300, which if you are normal and do not have Hashimoto's disease, your antibodies should be under like 60, I believe. It showed the markers for Graves' disease at very high, like I don't remember what the, I think it should be under 100 something. Mine was like 325, I think. I don't have my labs right in front of me. So this was really upsetting for me. I had a moment. I really broke down. I cried on the phone with my doctor. We were doing a video session. She's great, and I just feel so frustrated. The general treatment for hyperthyroid in this case is to put you on meds to suppress your thyroid, and I'm just not willing to do that at this time. She herself has never seen anything like this before, so of course she referred me to an endocrinologist. I have an appointment tomorrow, so we'll see how it goes, fingers crossed. So my ultrasound of my thyroid also revealed a small nodule. It is less than a centimeter, so it's generally not issue for concern. Nodules can happen when you have thyroid disease. In my own research, I did discover that you can have a hot spot from a nodule where it can temporarily make your thyroid hyperactive. So it may just be something like that, but it just stresses me out because the last thing I want right now is another surgery, more meds. I'm at a place where I'm like, basically off of many medications that I was taking before and supplements and things like that. And I just feel frustrated. I'm just so scared of being put on a medication that is going to suppress my thyroid, and everybody that takes these meds gains weight. Now, people that take these meds for hyperthyroid are generally underweight. Let's say they should be, 100 pounds and they weigh 80 pounds, so they're going to pack on 20 or 30 pounds to get back in kind of a normal range. But this terrifies me. I'm almost 6 months post-op now, and I have been at a weight loss stall for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Now, one good thing was, and the other thing is that she ran my hormone panel because I hadn't had a cycle in like 100 days. It was 100 days and then I got it. So yes, I finally did cycle, but my testosterone is higher than it should be. My progesterone and estrogen, all that stuff looked like in the normal ranges for the luteal phase, which is what I was kind of guessing I was in, and I was. But my testosterone was high. So super frustrating to not be losing weight when your thyroid is supposedly hyperthyroid and you have high testosterone. I should be like losing weight, right? And I'm going to the gym 4 to 5 days a week, busting my butt and, working out. It's very frustrating for me. So as I said, I got a little emotional when I had my session with her, and she was just she's just a great doctor. But she said, you didn't do this. I understand your frustration, but you didn't do this to yourself. You did not cause yourself to be having, polycystic ovarian disease, which clearly I'm having a PCOS flare-up if my testosterone is high and, your hormones are a little out of balance. And you didn't give yourself thyroid disease. And though I know these things, it's so frustrating when you're trying to do everything you can. Now, I know there's things I could do better. Like I had mentioned in my AIP chicken patty recipe, whatever batch cooking video that I did, I mentioned that I will start moving towards an autoimmune paleo protocol again, because in the past, and about, I think it was like 2016 when I had done that protocol, and I did it like full on, it really dropped my antibodies down a lot. They were very high. They were even higher. However, that was when I was working and seeing a different naturopath, and they were using Thyroid Labs, and we know the story about Thyroid Labs. So who knows if those were actually accurate numbers or not. We're not really sure. I'm not really sure. It doesn't matter at this point. But yeah, so just kind of really frustrated and was kind of upset about all of that. Really glad I got my cycle. I'm starting to feel a little bit better, and hopefully maybe my weight loss will start to resume again. One moment. So yeah, you typically do not see people that swing from a hypothyroid state like this to a hyperthyroid state like this. She couldn't find anything herself, and I couldn't really find a whole lot either between Hashimoto's and Graves'. So, that's why I'm going to an endocrinologist, and hopefully they got all of my recent labs and records and things like that, and we'll have a little bit more information for me. Still fingers crossed that they'll be like, oh yeah, this can happen sometimes. This is normal, maybe with a nodule, but I just hope they're not wanting to do biopsies and are drastic of a thyroid removal, which I'm just not going to do at all at this point in the game. I will try to do things naturally as far as dietary changes before I do something like that, but it's just kind of scary. And I just wanted to, share with you guys because I really try to be authentic and real with you guys and what's going on with my situation. And I'm not saying this is a common thing, because clearly it's not. It's pretty rare. When I did talk to my surgeon at that time, I had just gotten off of my thyroid medication. He had seen that before. And also one of my other doctors had seen that before as well. So I'm hoping that that's all it is, and my body will adjust and normalize again. But it's just crazy. And I'm like, if I'm going to be hyperthyroid, I wish I would be losing weight, especially in that with the higher testosterone that I should have. It's just kind of frustrating. So yeah, I haven't lost any weight. I definitely feel like I'm smaller in my body. I haven't done my inches yet. I've been just doing inches monthly. But as you guys know, if you watched my 5-month update video, I'll go ahead and I'll put it up here if you haven't watched that yet and you're interested. I hadn't really lost any inches either. So just frustration. That is like the word of the week or month. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Let me see if there's anything else here. Just looking at my notes. What I'm doing going forward, obviously, I'm going to be seeing my endocrinologist tomorrow, and then I will have another follow-up with my naturopath and let her know what's going on in the plan in regards to thyroid information. I need to start moving towards that autoimmune paleo protocol. I'm just not fully ready to go full on board. Autoimmune paleo, basically, you're eliminating all nightshades. So that's tomatoes, potatoes, eggplant, peppers. You are eliminating gluten. You are eliminating grains, any legumes, coffee. What else? Dairy, not sure if I said that. I can't even have eggs. You eliminate that. And kind of the process with that is, you do this elimination diet, and also paleo protocol, autoimmune paleo protocol is not just about eliminating, it is also then about introducing things into your gut, because most of us that have autoimmune diseases, we have what is called leaky gut syndrome. And what that is that there are certain things where if you have these microscopic little, I don't know if they're tears or whatever you want to say in your system, and when you eat these certain foods and they kind of go out of your intestines instead of being fully absorbed, they can kind of look like, say, thyroid antibodies. And so when you have an autoimmune disease of your thyroid, your body is sending your immune response is overreactive. It is sending out the army to attack your thyroid, basically. And things like coffee and gluten can break down, I guess, and look very similarly to thyroid antibodies. I hope I'm getting that right, because it's been quite some time since I've done all the research on this. But there are many good resources out there if you're interested, and I'm sure there's other protocols that are similar. But what you do is then after you have your elimination diet, then you add back those foods kind of one at a time, slowly over a period, to kind of see if and what type of reaction you are having. So when I did this last time, I definitely saw a correlation between peppers. I noticed that when I would eat any type of peppers, I would feel very sick very quickly. And I kind of have memories of that always happening when I was younger, like especially with peppers and tomatoes together, like cooked. So if I would have sauce with, say, bell peppers in there, I would always get violently sick. Like such pain in my stomach when I was little. And I always attributed it to like, oh, I guess I just ate too much. But as I got older and overeating wasn't a thing for me anymore, even just a small amount of that. So, and I have gone through periods where I've totally forgotten about that. And I did something like make stuffed peppers and got very sick. So I haven't done that since I've had VSG or anything like that. But I just keep that in mind. So I know for my body, that's something I'm sensitive to. Not sure about coffee. I don't think that made a big difference because I did completely get off coffee when I did this the last time, and I was drinking like yerba mate tea and doing that every day for a warm drink instead, and did fine with that, and my antibodies were still low and all of those things. So I don't eat much dairy anymore. I used to eat a lot of dairy, a lot of cheeses and things like that, and I really don't do that anymore. But lately I have had more dairy in my diet. I've definitely had way more gluten than I've had in a while. I've started making my own sourdough bread in the last several months, but I need to look at that more and maybe ask my naturopath about that, because I thought I understood, because of the process when you make your own sourdough from fresh and you have your starter, you feed it and discard every day, like you don't use yeast. When you make your own, all of that stuff is kind of broken down, and you, because of the fermenting process, you kind of get those better probiotics and prebiotics. And again, adding other foods into your diet, fermented foods are really good to add back in from what I understand on this protocol. So again, it's not just about totally eliminating, it's about adding in those kind of gut supporting things. So we'll see how it goes. I just wanted to kind of share with you guys what has been going on with me recently as far as my thyroid crisis. Feel fine as far as like not having hyperactive things. Of course, my doctor was like, okay, so since you're not going to take this thyroid medication suppressant, promise me that if you start having like headache, buzzing feeling in your head, she says that will happen. If you're having a thyroid storm, if you're having buzzing, headache, racing heartbeat, that you will go straight to the emergency room. And I said, okay, I'll let you know first. She goes, no, don't worry about letting me know, just go straight there, because unlike hypothyroid symptoms and Hashis, Graves, and having a hyperthyroid can be life-threatening. So a little scary. I'm sure you can understand, but hopefully everything will be fine. I'm really trying to stay positive and focused. I really enjoy my workouts still, and that's kind of my me time, and good for me in all those ways. But that's it for now. I do hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. You all had a lovely Easter. And I will be updating you guys soon as I get a little bit more information. And my 6-month update is right around the corner. I say right around the corner. I got a little bit more time. It's currently, as I'm recording this, April 18th. So I'm not at my 6 months until the 29th. But I will be updating you guys. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for all of your support out there. I appreciate you guys so much. We have such a lovely community building here, and I love it. So with that said, have a beautiful day, and I will be talking to you guys later. Bye.